This is the Freeling House from Poltergeist, right? And I'm gonna tell you why this is significant. This is the 80s, okay? Now, growing up in the 80s, our parents didn't have TVs like we did. Like our parents' generation, they didn't have TVs like seriously, like my grandpa tells me about like when they got their first TV and like nobody else had a TV. So everybody wanted to come over there. Yeah, Poltergeist. See, man, I'm clicking with you. I'm clicking with you, okay? Poltergeist attacked TV culture. Like, you got a TV on. Like, we're the first people to start leaving TV on at night. That was our generation. Our parents didn't do that. And here's mainly why. Is because it ain't nothing on. You guys below Gen X, you guys all grew up in an era where TV doesn't go off, right? You can leave your TV on all night long and it's always going to have something going. That TV wasn't like that. TV used to close. They used to be like, okay, and they lock that bad boy up and go home, right? And then you start creeping, and like later TV was really weird. Like stuff that came on late, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, at that time, you was getting some weird stuff. Some scary stuff, but some weird stuff. So this is where they start to attack us because remember, this is where the poltergeist comes through. It enters through the TV. And you saw they do a scene in there where the guys are fighting over their clickers. We was the first one to start getting clickers. Our generation, like I would have been Carol Ann's, like I think I'd have been Carol Ann's when this came out. Yeah, I was probably I'm older than Carol Ann, right? But I would have been in like her generation, right? So our parents were the ones fighting over the clicker wars because we were the first ones to start having clickers on TV. We're the last kids to have to go get up and go change channel on TV for your parents. We're the last ones that had to do that. It wasn't a lot of changing because there's only like 3 channels in the first place, right? So you either gonna watch this, or you gonna watch this, or you're gonna watch this. That's it. There's 3 choices that you got. Make a choice, right? And the thing about it is, for the most part, like we complain about having to change the channel. Back in that day, you just kind of stay locked in. If you were on this channel, you might watch a channel the entire day. You might watch all their programming. It was different TV time. But whatever. Now they're in this TV environment. This is the 80s, right? And again, I started talking about like, okay, the rolling 20s, we're coming out, we talked about the rolling 20s. This is the 80s. 80s is also a time of excess. This is important to the story, that the 80s is also a time of excess, and they also build this bad boy over an Indian burial ground. Once again, like I said, they don't learn. They don't want to learn, right? So again, you're just going to repeat the mistakes of the past and build an entire community now on these Indian burial grounds. It's not going to be a problem, guys. It ain't going to be a problem. Don't worry about it. And all right, I'm with that, okay? I'm clued, but you better be ready to make be able to make some changes in your lifestyle later. So they move into this place. It's called the Cuesta Verde subdivision, right? And this is California. This is my home state. Like, we have places like that all the time. So it's upscale. This is where we first started to get, like, these are our first, like, we're going to have some mini mansions later. This is the start of the mini mansion. Like, later, these places just get bigger. And these neighborhoods get just more, like, complex. Like, that's kind of like, now I live in a rural area for the first time, but I've always lived in, like, subdivisions like this. And, yeah, it's life. And I think they do a great job of reflecting that. But we're always building on somebody else's stuff, right? So you get this new home division, right? The pops for the Freeling family works there, so he's got a great deal. This is like the American dream, right? And built over a cemetery. I want you guys to understand the symbolism of how they were building over a cemetery. That's not lost. They were making an indictment about what our culture, right, civilization was, right? But that's a whole different point. But this is all about corporate negligence. Like, we're getting into corporate negligence. And man, the 80s, man, I will say the 80s was the 80s, was the era of like, yeah, fuck these corporations, right? They were. You got a lot of movies in the 80s about how bad corporations were, like Silkwood, like the nuclear companies, and like the strike breaking, like coal, all that stuff. We get into why corporations are. So you're built over this like subdivision, and so you've already got this is the ultimate 2-story suburban home. This is the family, like the 3 like she should have been pregnant this time, like 3.2 or 2.3, whatever. The kid had already came out. So you see this like warm, inviting experience, toys, family clutter. The TV glow is a part of this. The glow of the TV is like, oh, this is a family. Everyone gathered in front of the TV, and we all fell asleep. Like on a Friday night, like, a family could gather around movie time on a Friday night. Like that actually might be the whole activity, right? And then we look at it and it's like there's no like weird spatial things. There's no like weird angles or geometry. The house psychologically feels safe. At this time when we're looking at this, nobody's expecting what was going to come out of Poltergeist because it hadn't existed before. We never saw this. What are you talking about? This house is haunted. Those are one-offs, but for an entire neighborhood, the way this goes down, and what they get out of it is all these restless spirits underneath it, okay? And I'm going to be really honest, man. I'm going to tell you right now, there's not a lot you can do in this scenario except not live here. That's I would say, okay, if you're of the ilk or the mindset that, okay, I'm going to move into this spot and I'm burning some sage in this bad boy immediately, right? Immediately, see, 80. She knows about the 80s horror movies. I'm telling you guys, better get up on it, man. I'll break them down for you guys more. I got a couple of good ones coming for you guys too. So the house isn't inherently conscious itself. Okay, that's the whole thing. The house isn't working against you. That's the main thing. The house is just like a neutral bystander. The house just wood and got built over a place, but it becomes a portal, a gateway for all this, energy to come through, right? That starts to channel through and starts exploring land because the land is destabilized. The house becomes just interference for that. So what you see is immediately TV static communication, which is like, oh, they start off and they really lure you in on this one. They really lure you in, right? First, it's talking through the TV, like, let's static, okay? Then it's like, let's move some furniture around. Ha ha ha. Ooh, you're all like excited. Look at this, mommy, we're moving some furniture around. Then the chair's sliding. You're like, oh yeah, the kids are amused. This is fascinating stuff that we're experiencing. All the adults are kind of caught up in the wonder of it. I would have moved out of that bitch already. I'm going already. I'm telling you right now, the first time, I don't care even how long I've been living in the house. The first time a chair slides across the floor, I'm out. I'm selling that bad boy. You can manifest for the next people coming in. I'm getting up out of here, okay? But they don't do that. And then, here we go again. Immediately after that, now it's physical attacks. Things start getting a little nuttier and a little scarier, right? The tree assault. Remember the tree? That shit had me scared of trees forever. I'm still scared of trees right now. And Robbie, you a soldier for even mentally not breaking down when all that went down, right? A vortex right there. Yeah, I'm getting out of here. All this stuff like I can't do all this, right? And then it's getting worse, right? Because here, okay, and this is where it gets insidious, right? A tree busts through the bedroom as a distraction, okay? So they could get Carol Ann. The spirits planned. These aren't just random, poltergeists running around doing nothing. They plan this out. They're like, yeah, okay, here's what you do. Okay, look. You go around, you get up in that tree, okay? And you just go for it, man. Just like bust through the window, grab a little kid and all that. Man, but their parents are gonna hear it. I know, that's the whole point, right? So they gonna come out and try to get the kid. You don't have to keep the kid. That's not your mission. You gotta fight with them, okay, hard enough that, everybody's occupied. While you're doing that, I'm gonna sneak around here and I'm about to grab Carol Ann, the real prize. And he's like, bet. That's why you the leader, man. That's why you the leader, Zargs Mees or whatever, right? Oh, I don't know why she even got me on this clown. I'm gonna do a whole piece on clowns unto itself. Why anyone trusts a clown? The history of clowns, that's going to be a whole separate piece, the clown. Because, that clown had me shook, right? Out of everything else, I was most shook by that clown. And this is also what's in there, right? All these things that are kiddie stuff that are supposed to be part of this neighborhood are now turned into psychological attacks against you. It's mad insidious. This is paranormal on full display. Now, and it's even worse, man, because this is representing this rupture in the ground, right? There's coffins erupt from the yard at later point. You see this. You see the hands sitting out right there, right? They come out. They're not even buried that deep. Like, entire neighborhood implodes. I mean, the lawsuits out of this, man, must have been staggering. But in addition to being the type of entity that plans stuff out, that uses diversions, right? Subterfuge, right? This is also psychologically very savvy. It picks Carol Ann because she's young, because she's emotionally open. because when she saw the TV hands reach out to her, she didn't run. I would, you would, right? I'm like, what the fuck is that? She didn't do that because she's open. That's what children are. They're open. They're accepting. Like, oh yeah, what's this? That's always problematic. That's why you got to teach your kids right off the bat, okay? So it like she's receptive to his communication. She's not cynical. She doesn't resist. Like she's like, hey, what's going on? It's cool for her because she's still shaping her concepts of the world. Now the parents try to be rational, corporate. They're the good parents. The mother is like emotionally intuitive. She's very protective. She's actually more willing to actually believe in the supernatural. That starts right off the bat. So she's down with it. Unlike Jack, the father in the house doesn't deteriorate into violence. He kind of stays, a cool dad. Like he's locked into it. He's down for the fight. He's just outclassed. Now this one, man, the threat levels of this place, man, are staggering, right? Like the place can fall apart on you, right? There's a physical abdication. Like someone could grab you or something could grab you and take you through a portal. It can animate clowns. It can animate all kinds of stuff. Yeah, see? He's talking about, that Black Hope Cemetery. Yeah, there were actual lawsuits for building over cemeteries, like not transporting and handling. Like you can't. And maybe this is probably an expression of that. But yeah, she's 100% right. April, you're on point, man. You know your stuff. And this is like a whole community level threat. Like everybody's suffering from this. Anybody can get it. Anybody's kids can get taken down. And all this malevolence, all of it starts by improper burial distance, right? Corporate disrespect of the dead. This is like spiritual, like breakdown. All this stuff, it's amplified by technology. And there's not a lot of options. The family escapes. This is where you're better off here than like that hotel, that isolated hotel in the snow, because you can get away here. You can run. And it took them a little while, but they eventually ran, only to have the Poltergeist follow them around for 3 more successive movies. But that's a topic for a different thing. They were latched on to Carol Ann at this point. So, this is kind of overlooked. This is like the overlook is like the winter labyrinth. Then this is like the summer graveyard of denied consequences is what I would label this bad boy, right? A terrifying place is given a lot of great movies, okay? It's very cold, but it's very in tune